Hello everyone, let's do a long overdue review. Nearly every movie features a scene that exemplifies the entire film. In Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, this defining sequence happens early. Picture this, the setting is a beautiful lush jungle planet and the main subject is the beloved Jedi Rey, played by Daisy Ridley. She's peacefully meditating and tuning her spirit to the mythical power known as the Force. The scene is calm and serene until Rey interjects, "I'm not feeling it." In an instant, Rey ceases touching the Force and hurtles headlong into a Jedi training course, leaving the underdeveloped scene to collapse behind her as she enters a new scene prematurely. Unfortunately, when it comes to The Rise of Skywalker, Rey isn't the only one who isn't feeling it. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is an exercise of unforced frustration. I've overall enjoyed the sequel trilogy, especially the previous Star Wars Episode 8 The Last Jedi, and I try to will myself into liking The Rise of Skywalker. After all, no critic actively desires to dislike a movie, and I would have loved nothing more than to heap praise upon The Rise of Skywalker, claiming that it ended the sequel trilogy satisfactorily. Sadly, if I did this, I'd be lying. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is a mixed bag, though Babu Frick is pretty great. Can't argue against that. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is a mixture of soaring highs and abysmal lows. While the J.J. Abrams film is a solidly enjoyable action blockbuster, the latest installment never becomes more than the sum of its often overbearing parts. To wit, The Rise of Skywalker features the return of our lovable... To wit, The Rise of Skywalker features the return of our lovable heroes like the Stormtrooper turned Rebel Finn, played by John Boyega, hotshot pilot Poe Dameron, played by Oscar Isaac, and the aforementioned Jedi Rey, and contains a fun, energetic call to adventure, but the film never elevated itself like The Last Jedi did to be anything more than a 2.5-hour escape at the cinema. To be honest, I don't really remember much of all that really happened in the movie, save for Babu Frick. God, he's just so damn delightful. The cumbersome story is at the root of The Rise of Skywalker's cinematic woes. The plot follows Rey, Finn, and Poe as they attempt to find a plot MacGuffin that will lead them to an uncharted planet where Emperor Palpatine, played by Ian McDiarmid, and an Empire-era armada of stormtroopers can be resurrected. Making matters worse, the peculiarly sexy Sith Lord Kylo Ren, played by Adam Driver, and his First Order fleet have already found the planet. From there, the Emperor commanded the young, hot, and bothered Ren to kill Rey in order to become the new Emperor. All this plot occurs within The Rise of Skywalker's opening minutes, despite being so much new information for the audience to digest. The Emperor's back? What secret Imperial Armada? Why is Rey from nowhere so important? Also, why is Adam Driver so hot? Oh. These questions come from out of left field and are introduced so quickly that the audience doesn't have much time to settle into the story. In fact, the entirety of The Rise of Skywalker feels rushed. Potentially good scenes like when the temper tantrum-prone Kylo Ren addresses the First Order's leadership are undercooked and quickly cut right as the sequence became interesting, dashed in favor of a new action set piece, dialogue quip, or nauseatingly unearned fan service. By the end, I desired to grab the film by its scruff and demand that it slow down from its light speed pace, especially in moments where the editing is choppy and the story beats defied my normally generous suspension of disbelief. Star Wars! Stop! Stop! Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker's pacing and editing issues become insurmountable in the third act. While the first two acts are solidly fun sci-fi action fare, the film can't overcome its main spoilerific plot contrivance involving the Emperor. This is a problem because the Emperor dominates The Rise of Skywalker's climax, and even though his voice sounds awesome as it reverberates through the movie theater subwoofers, Shiv's plotline is pure cheese. Every moment the Emperor is on screen feels like an exercise of indulgence. McDiarmid's hammy performance is at best fan service via Return of the Jedi references, and at worst a repudiation of the artistically superior Star Wars The Last Jedi. And that latter aspect is particularly irritating to me. Walking back The Last Jedi's more exciting plot developments was always going to be a tough sell. As someone who adores director Rian Johnson's Star Wars The Last Jedi on par with The Empire Strikes Back, I found Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker to be an alienating film due to how its big reveal retreats from and undermines The Last Jedi, especially in the third act. While infuriating moments like the screen time minimization of Kelly Marie Tran in the first two acts were few and far between, The Rise of Skywalker's conclusion, featuring numerous retcons and plot reversals, many of which involve the hammy Palpatine, are inescapable. As a result, The Rise of Skywalker and the sequel trilogy ends with an R2-D2 style whimper rather than a Death Star exploding bang. And that's the rub. By the end, I was wondering if the sequel trilogy served a creative and thematic purpose beyond making Disney a boatload of cash. The creative vision between Abrams and Johnson is so jumbled that it's actually a miracle that even 2 of these movies were good, and due to The Rise of Skywalker being a cinematic blunder, I'm left trying to figure out what the point was. The Rise of Skywalker may feature the same characters we love and thrilling action set pieces, but when it comes to being a great film that pushes the conventions of what a Star Wars movie can possibly be, the J.J. Abrams film is a disappointing dud that makes the rest of the sequel trilogy feel aimless. The Force just isn't with The Rise of Skywalker. Hey y'all, I'd just like to thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like, share, subscribe, comment, ring the bell. And for my very special patrons, I want to say thank you, especially to Slasher Avails and my mom. Love you guys. Thank you for supporting what I do. Thank you so much.